Guys, welcome to my channel. Before I get started on this story time, I want to show you guys my new electric lighter I had got from Amazon. This is what it looks like right here. It's black. This is my third one. Like, I don't know what happened to my other two, but it just seems like every time I order one, I use it for a while and then it comes up missing. So this is my third one. So this is what it looks like, and is how much they tell you how much charge you have. So I only got like 2 knots. It will usually be 4 when it's full, and then you just hit that and it turns into a lighter. I like these a lot because it helps me from using the regular lighters like this. The only reason why I still get these is because when I roll my blunt, I like to seal it. You can't really do that with these with the electric lighter, so that's why I still get these to this day. So I do have a blunt right here. I have my vape pen right here. And I also have me something to drink right here. And I also have my little notes or whatever about how everything happened. Yes, front and back. So at this time, I was 15 years old. And this is when Black Planet, mixed race, and everything was on and popping. Like, everybody was on there, like meeting people. So my best friend at the time, I'm gonna name her Mary. I don't know why, I'm gonna just name her Mary. And I'm gonna name him Gary. And the reason why I'm calling him Gary is because I was watching Sisters earlier, and one of the actors' name is Gary on there. So just want to do Mary and Gary. So I am 15 years old. And this is when mixed race and Black Planet and everything was on and popping. Like, you meet everybody, you go in the chat rooms and everything, and you have your little web page. They show you, you like upload your pictures and stuff that you scan to your website and everything. So I am 15 at the time, and I'm in the chat room on Black Planet. We up there, everybody up there just introducing themselves and asking where everybody from and everything like that. Now, I was using AOL. Now, AOL used to be the shit. Like, if you had AOL, you was popping, because AOL at the time was expensive as fuck. But we had AOL with the little man and everything. So I'm in the chat room. Hey everyone, ASL, age, sex, location, and everything. And Gary, he slid into my inbox like, hey, you cute, where you from? I told him where I'm from and everything. He was like, so we up there talking. He asked me where I'm from. He asked me, am I in school and everything, what grade I'm in. And like, we just talking about school and everything. And I think Gary was 18. I want to say he was 18 because he was out of high school. So he was working. So we exchanged phone numbers. I didn't have a cell phone at the time, but I did have a house phone, because my mama had, in our house, we had 2 different phone lines. We had one for upstairs and had one for downstairs. So I gave him the number to the downstairs line, and he called me. So we're up there talking and everything. He asked me if I'm single, and what I like, what I do for school. Am I into any sports or anything like that? So I'm telling him, yes, I'm in school. I'm in the band. I was a majorette, and then I also was a dancer in a flag twirler in the band. And I also was playing like softball, volleyball, and basketball. Because that's one thing about my mama. She always wanted us to like be busy. So I told him what I was in and everything. So he was like, so we was on the phone for probably like almost 2 hours, because I know my sister needs to hurry up, needs to use the internet because she had to look up some stuff, and you could not have like AOL on and sometimes the phone line on because it's connected on to the same stuff. So I'm excited and everything. Like he was cute. He was cute. So he so we hung up, and I called my best friend, and I called Mary, and I was like, "Hey Mary, guess what?" She like, "What's up, girl?" I was like, I told her about Gary and how he slid into my inbox and wanted to know me and everything. And she's like, "Oh girl, what he looks like?" And I told her, and so she wanted his webpage name so she could look at him, like look at his pictures and everything too. So I gave it to her. And she like, "Oh girl, he cute." And Mary had a cell phone. This is when you had the minute phones. So I was calling her. I was talking to her on her cell phone, and she was on her computer. She was at her computer at the time. So the next day in school, me and Mary, we link up. We end up leaving basketball practice, and then we had to go straight to band practice afterwards. And at this time we did not get done with like practice until like 7 o'clock at night. And Mary stayed right around the corner from me. So when I'm home, she only got like a few more houses down, and she'll be home. So now me and Mary, we was like sisters. Like we was so close. Like nothing can break us up. Like we was always together, and we always was on the phone. So Mary and me, we was up there just talking about Gary, and she was like, "Oh, he cute and everything. When y'all gonna meet up and when y'all gonna meet up? Because when you go meet him, I want to come with you." And I was like, "Okay, cool," because I don't want to go nowhere by myself, and I'm just not meeting the person. So she was like, "Okay, girl, let's meet him at this park and whatever." So the next day, I had talked to Gary. I had just got home. I didn't have practice on this day. I had just got home, and it was a Friday. Just got home, took a shower, and I got on the internet, and I go on Black Planet and everything just to see if I have any messages or anything. And then I called Gary. And me and Gary at the time, we ended up talking for like almost like 4 months. Yeah, 4 months. So we really getting to know each other really, really good. So he asked me what area do I stay in, and I told him, and he was like, "Okay, well I'm always out there. How about we link up at this let's go to this park." I was like, "Okay, cool." I finally get to meet the guy I've been talking to. So that Saturday, it had to be like probably two in the afternoon when I called Gary, and I was like, "Hey, let's meet up at this park." He was like, "Okay, cool." So I called my girl Mary, and I was like, "Hey Mary, we're gonna be at this park at 2 o'clock. So walk with me." So she like, "Okay, cool." So around 2 o'clock, me and Mary, we meet up at the mailbox because it's like her street and then my street, and there's like a mailbox right there. So we met at the mailbox, and we had Mary. I called Mary, asked Mary to use her cell phone so I can call him and let him know I'm on my way. So I called him. He was like, "Okay, I'm on my way there." I was like, "Okay," and I got my girl Mary with me. So he was like, "Okay, that's fine." And at this time, I was a virgin still, but Mary, she was a freak of link. Like that girl, she got down. Like she was a freak of link, but I didn't care because that's my girl, because she understood me and everything. We was like sisters, so we was really close. So when we get to the park, Gary rolls up, and I'm nervous as hell. Like, he had this blue truck, and I was like so nervous. Like, I was like, oh my God, girl, there he go, there he go, there he go. And we up there touching each other. He hops out the truck and he comes towards me, and he was like, hey. He was like, are you Jay? I was like, yeah. And I was like, and this my girl Mary, this my best friend. So he was like, oh, hey, nice to meet you, Mary. She like, nice to meet you, Gary. So we at the park, and it's like, the park is busy because everybody's like, people is playing basketball, and there's people on the swings and everything. So it's a busy park. So I felt okay because if anything happens, we got witnesses. So we get into his truck. We did not leave the parking lot at all, like at all. Mary is in the back seat and she's on her phone, and I'm in the front seat with Gary, and we just up there talking, having a conversation and everything. He like, you really are cute. And I was like, well, thank you. And I was like, you handsome yourself. And so we up there talking, exchanging like conversations. So we was talking. We had to be talking for like almost 2 hours before I realized that I didn't hurry up and get home so I can, cause I gotta go to church the next morning. And I was in the choir when I was in church. I was in the usher board. I was on the usher board in the choir and everything. So I had to sing the next day at church. So I asked Gary if he could take us home. He said, yeah, that's fine. It's not no problem. So he took Mary home first, and then he dropped me off. And before we got out the car, we had hugged and everything, and I was like, well, call me when you get home. He was like, I surely will. So I get in the car. Oh, I'm sorry. I get back in. I walk to the house, and I come in the house, and I run straight to the phone. My sisters and everything, they gone. Like, they went with their friends for the day. And my mama, she probably at JCPenney somewhere shopping. I'm married, and I was like, girl, what you think? What you think? She like, girl, he fine. He fine. I like him. I'm like, me too, girl. So she was like, when y'all gonna link up again and stuff? I said, well, we come probably link up probably next weekend or something, if I ain't gotta do anything. If I ain't gotta go to my grandma's house or anything. So she like, okay, girl. She like, you have fun? I'm like, oh, I am. So I'm on the phone with Mary still, and then the little line clicked. So I clicked over, and it was Gary. So he had called me to let me know that he had made it home. And I said, okay. I was like, it was nice meeting you today. He was like, it was nice meeting you too. So I was like, hold on. I got Mary on the other end, so I'm gonna call you, so hold on just a moment. So I clicked back over to Mary, and I told her, I was like, girl, this is Gary on the other end. So I'll call you back. She like, okay, girl. So I clicked back over to Gary, and he was like, you looking good today. He was like, you look just like your picture. I said, and you look just like yours. So he like, so when we gonna link up again? I said, we could do it probably next week, and I'll let you know if I have anything to do. He was like, okay, that's fine. He like, cause I'm always in your area anyway, so I would like to link up with you. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Me and Gary, that following weekend, we did not link up at all because I had to end up going out of town. I had actually ended up going to Alabama for that weekend because we had to do something, and then we came back. So I didn't meet up with Gary at all that following weekend. So that Monday, I went to school, and I had called Gary when I got out of school on the school phone, and he was like, hey, what you about to do? And I was like, I'm about to go home. So he was like, okay, do you want to link up? I said, well, I gotta go to school in the morning, but I was like, yeah, I can come outside for a few. So he was like, okay, I'll be there in probably 15 minutes. I was like, okay. So I go home, and Gary called my house phone, told me that he was outside. So I go outside to Gary, And he was like, he asked how my day was, and then if I had any homework and everything, and I told him, no, I ain't got no homework today. I said I did all of it in class. So he was like, oh, so do you want to come over one day? Cause like you can come over to my auntie house with me. I was like, sure, that's fine. And remind you, I'm still a virgin. Like I am a virgin. Like I'm not having I'm never had sex ever. So he was like, okay, we can go to my auntie house probably this weekend. He was like, cause it's gonna be probably like I think it's a party there. His cousin's birthday or something. But he was having a party. So we go to his auntie house on that Saturday, and the party is just about over. Like everybody drunk and high as hell, cause this is when weed was not legal at all. So the party died down, and we go to his room, and we start watching. I forgot. I think it was like Man in Black or something like that. Something was on. Something. I think it was Man in Black was on. So we watching TV, and then he leaned over to kiss me. So I kissed him back, and then he wanted to. He started pulling down my pants. I said I'm not having sex. I was like I'm still a virgin, and he was like, oh come on baby. He like it be good. You'll like it. I said no, I'm good. I'm not having sex with you. So Gary, I guess he got felt some type of way because after I told him no, he had got he was like he got up from the bed and he was like, come on, I'm gonna take you home because I need to let my cousin use the car. So I'm like, okay. So I think he got mad because I told him no and he thought I was about to have sex with him. I don't know you from a can of paint. I don't know what you got or who you been with. So I'm not about to have sex with you. So I go home and I like before I got the car I gave him a hug. I said, call me when you get home. He like, okay. And so that night he didn't call me. So I didn't know if he even made it home. So I called him. He didn't answer. Cause usually he would answer every time I call. But at this time I guess he was really pissed because I ain't had sex with him that he wasn't answering my call no more. So now I'm about to get ready to go to sleep. And so I was like, I'm gonna call him one more time. So this time he finally picks up and he was like, hey. I said, hey, I was just making sure you made it home. You ain't answering my call. And so he was like, oh, I was busy. I was like, okay. So I was like, well, I'm glad you made it home. He was like, yeah, me too. And he was like, but have a good night. I'm gonna call you later. Now we hung up the phone. And me and me and Mary, like I said, we was like sisters. So when me and Gary got off the phone, I had called Mary and I told her what had just happened. And so she was like, oh girl, why you ain't had sex with her? Like she asked me why I ain't do it. I said, girl, I'm not about to have sex with him. Now I know him from a can of paint. So she like, okay girl. I like, she was like, so he gonna be looking for it somewhere else. I said, well, seem like it's gonna be, he just gonna have to be doing that. I said, because I'm not doing that. So she like, okay girl. And so we on the phone, we just talking, and then we up there talking about school and how we had to the next day we had to go to practice and everything. So me and Mary, we hang up the phone. And so now, like I said, Gary has stopped answering my call. So when I would call him, he would not pick up sometimes. And when he finally does, he always like cut the conversation short. So we had a science project due. So Mary come over my house because her internet is down at her house. So I let her come over my house and so she can get her science project, do her science project research or whatever. So as she's on the computer, I asked to use her phone. And so she was like, here, girl. Like I said, this is a minute phone. So at the you can only allow, I think you was only allowed to have like 15 messages and before it deletes or something like that. So I asked to use her phone and so I can call him. And I go to her phone, and when I put in his number show up on her phone. So I'm like, what the fuck? Why is Gary's number in your phone? So then I go to the messages. Baby, when I tell you that when I seen them text messages of them saying, oh, the sex was good, you get some good head and shit, I was like, just, like, I was froze. I couldn't move. I'm like, alright, is this bitch really fucking with the nigga I was supposed to be messing with? But she should have known that because of who she really is. So I go confront her at my computer. I said, are you fucking Gary? Of course she gonna lie and say no. I'm like, are you fucking Gary? So then she finally just started crying with tears in her eyes and said, yes, I'm sorry. And I told her to get the fuck out of my house. I said, you could do your shit at the fucking library. And when I say that, it always be the main people that you always trust be the main one to do you so wrong. So when I found out she did that shit to me, like I cut her off. Like I cut her off like a light switch. I cut her off and then I confronted his ass. Of course the nigga gonna lie. So I let him, he had kept on lying. And then he finally came clean like, yeah, I was fucking her because you wasn't getting what I wanted. So I'm like, well, you made a good choice. And I cut him off like a light switch. To this day, this nigga probably still trying to contact me. The person you have reached cannot be reached at this time. So that's my story about my so-called best friend fucking my nigga. So let me know what you guys think of this story time. Have this ever happened to you guys? I would love to hear your stories. Let me know. And the height today is only 95, so that's good. So please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.